This is Stream TV, and this is the 21st July edition. My name is BISMARK Brown. Now let's take a tour of the various front pages together. We'll start off with the Ghanaian Times banner headline: Mayhem at Kasoa Registration Center, 4 arrested, guns fired, motorbikes bent, registration officials flee. And the story is at page 12 of the Ghanaian Times today, and the story says there was confusion at the top hill down polling center at Kasoa in the Ewutu Senya East in the central region on Monday when armed men fired gunshots at the center whilst registration was ongoing. 4 persons have been arrested by the police in connection with the shootings and disturbances at the center. They are Sule Razak, Majid Amadou, Suleiman Yusuf, and Razak Musa, and are in the custody of the police assisting in investigations. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times as well, Accra markets undergo massive cleanup, and it comes with a photograph of Hajia Alima Mahama, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. And markets in the 29 metropolitan municipal and district assemblies in the Greater Accra region on Monday benefited from a massive cleanup exercise. The exercise was organized by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development in collaboration with Zoom Lion Ghana Limited. It's on the front page of the Ghanaian Times as well. AMA Military-cum-Police enforced nose masks wearing in Accra. We're told of the Oti landfill to be transformed into modern waste treatment facility, and that's all here on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Daily Guide, our next paper this morning, says election 2020, Nana will beat Mahama, says EIU report. Despite the negative effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economic achievements of the ruling New Patriotic Party, the Economist Intelligence Unit has again predicted that the president, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, will defeat the leader of the main opposition party, ex-president John Dramani Mahama, in the December 2020 presidential election. On the front page of Daily Guide as well, Obinim sins revealed in court. Story says details are emerging about the reason why the controversial pastor Daniel Obinim, founder of the International God's Way Church, was hauled before the Kaneshie Magistrate Court in Accra. According to documents filed in court by the police, Obinim allegedly forged and published a police person's wanted form against a man in Kumasi without official endorsement. On the front page of Daily Guide as well, 6,000 workers paid 50% bonus, and that's on the front page of the paper. The National Enquirer is our next paper. Ahead of December elections, Ghana receives phone hacking tools from UK, US, and Interpol. Akufo-Addo to eavesdrop private conversation, journalists and politicians on red alert. In May 2019, we're told by the paper, senior members of Ghana's law enforcement posed for photos with the US ambassador to their country at a ceremony in the capital, Accra. Between them, they held boxes and bags which were gifts from the US government to Ghana. According to one of the recipients, they contained Israeli phone hacking technology. That senior recipient was Mahama Yatiwa Adonankwa, then Director General of the Ghana Police Criminal Investigations Department. And the story goes on and on and on to tell us about what happened in May as she spoke to the Committee to Protect Journalists about how the US and the UK governments as well as Interpol provided Ghana security forces with digital investigation training and technology. You want to get a copy and find out details of the story. The National Enquirer also says this morning, NDC commemorates Professor Atta Mills Akufo-Addo's diabolic attempt to cow eligible voters. Mahama urges Voltarians, don't be intimidated by military, go and register. That's all here on the front page of the National Enquirer. Free speech is priceless. Don't suppress the voice of the voiceless, as a caption at the top right corner of the National Enquirer. The Daily Dispatch is our next paper. Rawlings replies his former associate, and that's on the front page here of the Daily Dispatch, with an all new looking former President Rawlings. Quite an interesting new look. The Daily Dispatch also says Benefson praises UGMC for professionalism, and it's on the front page of the Daily Dispatch. Local government ministry cleans Accra market. The Daily Dispatch also says NPA boss woos public support for gas policy projects, and that comes with a photograph of Alhassan Tampuli, who is in charge of the NPA. The Daily Statesman says banks collapse as your mess. DI shoots NDC propaganda goons. The Daily Statesman also says Mahama schemes smear campaign against Rawlings. It's a question posed by the paper. John Boadu satisfied with voters registration exercise as a caption as well on the front page of the Daily Statesman. The Chronicle this morning comes with a photograph of Gabi Asare Ochredako. Banner headline: we did not collapse Duffour in Nduom banks, and that's coming from the Dankwa Institute. Story says the Dankwa Institute claims that the think tank together with the government conspired to collapse banks are a complete fabrication and distortion of the facts. The reaction of the institute follows video making rounds on social media alleging a conspiracy by the above-mentioned institution against the banking sector under the guise of a cleanup, and that's on the front page of the Chronicle. 6,000 health workers receive April allowances, also on the front page of the paper. Gunshots mark Kasoa registration, as well as John Boadu tours registration centers in Eastern Region, are all stories on the front page of the Chronicle. Let's check out what's gaining attention on the front page of the Hawk newspaper. Make COVID-19 survivors ambassadors of the virus, and that is a suggestion coming from Apostle Kadmiel Agbalenyo on the front page of the Hawk. Also here, stop destroying local companies. Agyin Asare cries out on the front page of the Hawk. We can't speak for you. Peace Council to NDC. All here on the front page of the Hawk newspaper. Daybreak this morning comes with a photograph of Jean Mensah, chairperson of the Electoral Commission. Banner headline: supply of Veronica buckets. EC gifts contract to GJA boss. Really? Story says the Electoral Commission, that prides itself on being very transparent in matters of its constitutional obligations, has been caught in a grabby agenda involving a contract to an executive of the Ghana Journalists Association, name withheld for now according to the paper. The EC awarded the supply of the Veronica buckets running into several thousands of Ghana cedis to some friendly media practitioners who it uses in the promotion of stories in defense of parties and organizations that opposed its idea of compiling a new voters register. We're told the supply of the Veronica buckets as part of ensuring the safety of registrants amid the deadly COVID-19 did not go through any tender process. Daybreak paper learned, and that's on the front page of Daybreak. Pawn officers still at post after degrading female soldiers, and this is quite a very disturbing story. The story says a military officer, name withheld, who fixed a camera at a strategic point to enable him to peek at the nakedness of colleague female soldiers within his barracks, is still at post, despite exposure by the media for committing a serious offense. The officer was caught not only peeking, but taking photographs of female colleagues during shower time and watching the pornographic material on his laptop during his free hours. And that's on the front page here of Daybreak. And stories here, you want to check out details of it. Daybreak newspaper also says Odumase residents pleads with IGP over police involvement in land abuse. Our last but not least paper for today is the Business and Financial Times. Falling share prices opens opportunity for investors, and that's coming from a report. Uti landfill on course to be turned into modern waste treatment facility. That's all here on the front page of the BNFT. Wrapping up today's edition of the front page. For your daily newspaper headlines, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Stream TV Beyond the Headlines.